Hello and welcome back to this project. We are now starting the heel. We will be using short rows. If your hook is not exactly in the middle of your slipper, you need to make few slip stitches either direction to bring it to the side. Now count your clusters. I have 11 clusters, so I will mark here the first one, and I will use 5 clusters for my front and 6 for the back. If you have an even number, use half, but if you have an odd number, always use more in the back. Half part of the heel is very easy. We are making short rows. So we start as usual. I will slip stitch under between the clusters and chain 3. I will stay on the wrong side, and then this time I'm making 1 double crochet in first stitch, 1 double crochet in second stitch, and then in between clusters, and again 1 double crochet, second, and in between clusters. So I'm still making 3 double crochet stitches, but the third one, instead of in the stitch, I'm making in between clusters. At the end of row number 1, you should have only one more stitch that you have with the clusters. So I have 6 clusters, 6 times 3, 18, plus 1, I have 19 stitches. Now chain 1. That does not count as a stitch. And in each row, you will skip the first stitch and the last stitch. So I start making half double crochet stitches now. And with each row, I will reduce my stitch count by 2. Once you get to the length of your foot, you will stop your rows. Even if this part is very simple, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I will be able to help you this way. As you see, I'm making 1 stitch in 1, so now I'm making 1 and I leave the last one alone. Make chain 1, and again skipping the first stitch, I start my row in the second stitch and I work all the way to the almost end, leaving the last stitch along. How many rows do you need? It all depends on your measurement and your sock size. So I usually try to leave 6 or 5 stitches across, and that will give me the perfect size. But also, if you start your short rows too soon, you might not have enough stitches. So it's very, very important that your 70% of your foot length is already taken when you work in your sole and foot in rounds. I also explained how to calculate the number of stitches you need for your heel. It's important that you will have 55% of the total stitch count for the heel. So we left 45% for the top of the foot, and I'm using 55% of total of my stitches for the heel. And as you see, the short rows are very simple. You're just skipping 1 stitch on each side, and once you reach your length, you stop. And then we will move to the next part, which will be picking up the short rows and making them longer again. So I need just 1 more row, and let me check again. I believe I'm done. Yes. Now let's the fun begin. So we have our short rows, and it's optional, but if you're brand new to crocheting socks, I truly believe will be easy for you if you will put stitch markers. Place stitch marker in the beginning and the end of each row. As you see, I place in every single one with the exception of the last one, and only because I will be working that last one right away. I also kept my original 2 stitch markers, so right now it looks like a very, very difficult project to do, but you might be surprised how easy it is. We start with the first stitch and we making half double crochet. You work that row all the way to the end, this time making stitch in every stitch. Now, this is my second row. I want to connect that second row, but I do not want to have a gap in between my rows. To eliminate the gap, I will place my hook first in the middle of the space between my first and second row, and then second time I place where the stitch is supposed to be. So I'm working like 2 half double crochet stitches together. Now I will slip stitch in the next half distance between my second and the third row, and then I will turn my work and skip that slip stitch and work every single stitch back. So I'm making now again half double crochet in every stitch until I get to the edge of this row, and I will show you one more time how to connect those 2 rows together. After the last stitch in this row, I need to connect where the stitch marker is. So I'm placing in between that space and where the stitch marker is. And that's perfect connection without any gap. Now I'm making again slip stitch in between the distance, and I'm turning. And I work again stitch in every stitch. Once you get used to the short rows and how to pick them up, you will not need to use stitch markers. But if this is your first pair of socks, I truly believe the stitch marker helps, especially if you want to be sure that you pick up every row. So once again, I want to pick up that row, but I'm placing my hook first in the half of the distance, and then I'm making like 2 half double crochet together. And don't forget to go a little bit farther down, another half of the distance, to reposition your hook before turning. And this is nice heel forming here, and that's what we want. So once again, skipping the slip stitch and making half double crochet in every stitch until the end of this row, making sure I will place my hook in the half distance between rows and in the end of the next row. So that's the place. And again, half distance and in the row itself. Then half distance and turn. So let's listen to nice music and work our short rows. Let's take a moment and check our heel. That's exactly what you want to see. A little pocket triangle, and when you make a flat, it's beautiful heel, and your new slipper will be very comfortable to wear it. So, do you have any questions? Please let me know. Are you doing okay? Please let me know. Is this your first sock you're making? Please let me know as well. Unfortunately, I need to split this video again, so I will post additional third part to this video, and that will be creating the top and the calf. But we are almost done with the heel. As you see, I speed up this process. I do not want this video to be too long. Who has time to watch long videos? Look at that. It's beautiful. Thank you for crocheting with me today. I hope you enjoyed this project, and see you next time.